The skeleton coast is one of the harshest environments on the planet. Fog drifts in from the Atlantic, a cold breath over dunes that look like waves frozen in sand. On this edge of Africa, where the Namib Desert meets the sea, survival is a daily wager. For hundreds of miles, human activity is practically zero. But here, incredibly, lions have learned a new way to live. Not as savanna rulers, but as coastal hunters. Maritime lions, tough enough to take on the ocean itself. For most of us, lions conjure images of prides resting and roaming in the heat of the savanna. The desert lions of northwest Namibia are built different, though. They traverse a hyper-arid world where rain is rare and prey is scattered. Survival is an immense challenge that has led them to adapt, stretching their ranges, changing their habits, and, when the land failed them, turning to the shoreline. The backdrop to this transformation runs deep. Desert-adapted lions have patrolled this region for generations, but the coastal lineage almost vanished in the late 20th century. Conflict with livestock farmers and a long drought emptied the beaches of lions, and for a time it looked like the coastline would be ruled only by wind and waves. Then, in 2015, another drought decimated their usual inland prey of ostriches, oryxes, and springboks, and the lions were forced all the way back to the Atlantic. These lions were already different from their relatives on the savanna. Their home ranges span thousands of square miles. By way of comparison, in the Serengeti, a lion might stick to 40 square miles. When prey is plentiful, lions form large prides, but amidst the endless sand dunes of the skeleton coast, food is scarce. The lions operate in much smaller groups, sleeping little and always on the move in search of their next kill. They are the super athletes of the lion family. They are lean, mobile, and deadly hunters. Unbelievably, they have even adapted to surviving long periods without drinking water. Instead, they get most of their hydration from the meat of their kills. At first, the coast was a curiosity. Visited, sniffed, and left behind. Then, after years of drought and lean times inland, two prides began using the beach, not as a boundary, but as a pantry. They started to specialize. Cormorants, flamingos, and, most dramatically, Cape fur seals. Over just 18 months, 3 young lionesses from one pride were documented taking dozens of birds and nearly 20 seals. It wasn't just an opportunistic one-off. The lions had a new menu born of necessity, and in that period, marine prey made up the majority of what they ate by biomass. That single shift, choosing the sea when the desert ran thin, reveals a remarkable capacity to adapt. Think about what that entails for a lion. Hunting at the ocean means reading tides, fog, and surf. It means learning new patrol routes along beaches where sand grips like a trap. It demands timing, night moves with the cold fog wrapped around their whiskers, or early dawn when the beach is quiet. And it asks for courage, a misstep on wet rocks, a wave taken at the wrong moment. And even a top predator can be swept, bruised, or worse. Those seals may look slow and helpless laid out on the beach, but they still come with razor-sharp teeth. The inland life of these lions remains no less demanding. The northern Namib is a mosaic of dry riverbeds and gravel plains. Prey like gemsbok and ostrich follow green flushes that can vanish as quickly as they come, and lions track those shifts with relentless patience. Studies here have recorded prides ranging between the dunes, the mountains, and the coast, holding mental maps of food and water that update with every step. When you live in a place that changes by the week, curiosity and memory become survival tools. The coastal hunts aren't constant. They spike when the desert goes quiet. In some seasons, lions remain inland for weeks, taking antelope drawn to ephemeral springs. Then, as life drains from the desert, the prides drift back toward the Atlantic. On those stretches, beach tracks tell the story. Wide paths pressed into damp sand, long strides aimed at the surf line, and drag marks where a seal was pulled above the tide. The lions cache their kills and guard them against black-backed jackals and brown hyenas. This new maritime life began with a small number of pioneering females. Young, hungry, and bold, they ran down birds on wet flats and learned how to ambush seals at night. The seals, built for water and powerfully social, are no easy target when adults are vigilant. But lions learn fast, especially when hunger bites. Over months, those first successes turned into habit, and habit into strategy. It's tempting to paint this as a neat comeback arc. Lions gone, lions return, lions thrive. The reality is more delicate. The population here is small, scattered pride separated by big distances and big risks. Every cub matters. Every adult matters. A broken collarbone, a vehicle encounter, a poisoned bait intended for a raiding hyena. Any of these can write a hard ending. That's why coexistence along the coast and in the conservancies is so critical. Rangers and communities now deploy non-lethal deterrents near settlements. Simple measures like noise and light to keep lions moving and people safe, and they monitor lion movements to reduce clashes before they happen. It's not a perfect system, but it buys time and space for both sides. The ecological role of these maritime lions is larger than the image of a cat on a beach. By tapping into marine prey, they bridge two worlds. Energy that started as crustaceans and fish moves into seals and birds, then onto land through lions. In ecosystems, bridges matter. They stabilize food webs and reveal pathways we'd miss if we only looked in one direction. And in a warming, drying world, those bridges may decide whether small populations hang on or falter. Their story also reframes what we expect from Africa's big cats. Group size? Smaller here. Territory? Larger. Daily rhythm? More walking, less resting. Water? Often taken from meat rather than pools. It's a suite of traits tuned to a landscape that offers little and asks much. When a lioness threads a line between dunes and surf, she isn't breaking character. She's playing it exactly as the Namib demands. There's a human thread too. The long, patient work of researchers, local guides, and communities. Decades of tracking, collaring, and observation gave us the first clear evidence of consistent seal and seabird hunting here. And with that knowledge came smarter protection. The more precisely we understand when and why lions choose the coast, the better we can safeguard both lions and livelihoods. So what do these lions teach us? That adaptability is courage, not compromise. When the desert tightened its belt, they learned the pulse of the ocean. When old routes failed, they carved new ones over shingle and shell. They embody a special kind of toughness, the flexible kind that bends, learns, and persists. Picture a lioness finishing a night patrol along the rack line, whiskers beaded with sea mist, paws dark from wet sand. Behind her, the fog peels back from the dunes. Ahead, the first light tips the combers as they fold and run. She isn't a symbol. She's a worker in a hard place, doing what it takes to keep her cubs alive. The Namib has always rewarded those who adapt, and that's the heart of it. On the Skeleton Coast, survival favors the fearless and the inventive. The desert may be old, the ocean even older, but the lions are new again. Not by accident, not by luck, but by choice. A deliberate step from the dunes to the tide, and a refusal to be anything less than alive. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel.